Hello and welcome again to Tech Corner. This is available on recordings on the online local video and the Rethink Revenue YouTube channels on the H7 Tech Corner playlist. Watch them all. Today's edition on reputation marketing, we start asking questions about, are your customers choosing your competition, choosing you over your competition? How are you being seen online? And to that end, we're really going to dig into a free tool that we offer. It's called the Reputation Report Card. You put in the information and it shows you top reputation metrics like visibility grade, reputation grade, negative reviews, and more. So away we go.
Hey, Greg.
They I think I got plopped in the wrong room, so I will slowly slink away.
Oh, come on, man. Good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, I think maybe I will stay. I
Uh,
just from Bystronic, I don't need the help, but I do have other side things I might be interested in, so I'll stick around if you don't mind.
Well, that would be awesome. Um, Justin's a regular, and then Mr. Mark, we had a brief meeting the other day, so I appreciate you bouncing in here. And this reputation marketing, this whole reputation thing, I've been talking about for quite a little while. We've got into it years and years ago, and it's pretty undeniable, right? And there's a lot of depth to it. And today we're talking about, are people picking you, or rather, are people picking your competitors over you, right? And so it ties into the fact that not only do you have to get a bunch of reviews, but you should also be, showing them off. That's kind of the reputation marketing side of this, right? The stats are undeniable, that 90+% of people look at reviews when deciding on a company to do business with. It's crazy too. Forbes had an article about that like 70% of the buyer's journey happens before ever contacting like a salesman, sometimes even the company. So if you're not showing out, showing up, and showing well, and being an obvious choice when they're doing the research, you could be the best one around, but you never get a chance to say, hey, how can I help you? And so we help people do this. We can do done for you. We do some DIY stuff. We got tons of great resources in that whole freemium model, like Rethink Revenue does, right? So we've got a guide, and we have this reputation report card. And so in that lens of what we're talking about, I'd like to show you this, and I'll put the link in the chat box. So it's a .info, reputation report card .info. It's a free service. Do yourself, do your competition. Another great idea, see how they're coming up. So I've got one queued up on my screen. We'll jump into there. You guys got any questions so far? Okay, let's share. All right, excellent. Do you see this one here where it's got the letter grades on the right? Yes. Help me out. Thank you, David.
yeah, sorry, I was typing in my business here. So
I hear you, man. It is a multitasking world. And so this is a great tool. Again, it's free. There's no credit card required. This is more like the results page, rather than the landing page. If you go there, you're going to see something like this. Little explanation video. It doesn't take much information to get this thing started. And so this is really it. Like, what are they seeing? What are they saying about you? What are they finding about you, right? This thing digs in on a couple big categories, and even in some ones aren't even mentioned up here. And it'll show you actually who in your marketplace is at the top for your keywords. Because the people that we work with, they want to dominate. They want to be the top, right? They want to knock those people down. They want to get picked over their competition. And so the visibility grade is how accurate you are on all these listings out there. Reputation really is about the recent reviews, new reviews, right? Video, super important. It's another pillar for what we do over here. And negative reviews are flagged at the top. So this is what we call it the report card, right? So you're getting these letter grades. And it's very clear on maybe why things aren't happening. So for this company, and I didn't pick a great company to show you, right? These guys could be really great, and they could have, hundreds of satisfied customers. They'd be doing a bang up job. They get word of mouth referrals, people sending them business all the time. But doggone it, if somebody doesn't know them, they can't tell any of that, right? So this is the lens of what here these guys can do to tighten this up, right? Optimizing the website, getting more reviews. All this making sense so far?
Yeah, for sure. I'm glad that it shows multiple places as well. Like, well, Yelp, in my opinion, is kind of worthless, but yeah, but their review side anyways, but some I've never heard of before, like Merchant Circle, Super Pages. So that's good to know that I should be pointing towards that as well and trying to get into there.
Yes. And thank you for playing along, because many people go, who cares? Right? At this part of the report. Like, I want hear about my reviews. Well, this is fundamental. When I talked about if you're interested in SEO, right? If you're interested in getting found, then you need to be doing this part of the game. This is a known part of the Google algorithm. And these sites may not be known to you or important to you or care about them at all, but they are big, high authority sites online. And the Google algorithm cares about high authority sites. I'm not going to go too deep on Yelp. I too am not a big fan. I don't think there's many people out there that are, but they are on the radar, right? And they do have a big base. Many of these other places are like the old Yellow Pages and stuff, right? You see like Super Pages, Yellow Bot, and they have tens or hundreds of thousands of users. And now there's even more that we do if we say start helping a business, there's niche industries, so home remodelers have their own, like house.com, and lawyers have one, avo.com. We dig into that, but that's really not in this report. These are some of the biggest directories, right? And so it'll give you a real personalized thing, how many errors, why you need to get them. And so then, other than just the listing, then it's going to give you the grade out there. And again, this one's really poor. We'd love to see people have 10 reviews on Google, 10 really on all the platforms. These are really important factors too when we start looking at the reputation side of the world, the negative reviews, as you can imagine, they really can impact you if you don't want to turn out like the roofer who's having a down week, and he come to find out that somebody left him a really bad review on Google and he wasn't paying attention. It was showing up first. He never replied to it. He never addressed it. People were picking somebody else, right? So as part of a good service, our service, any other service, even yourself on Google Alerts, you can set up flags and look for these reviews, monitor your reviews, right? So this one shows the negative reviews, right? And recent reviews. Big numbers on this front too. 64%, 70%. Talk about reviews over 30 days, over 90 days, not being relevant. Now, we support a lot of local area merchants, brick and mortars. I think those numbers are probably not as important for some of the people like NH7 and the B2B people. Certainly, if you're looking at a restaurant or amusement park or something, right, you probably look at the most recent, but you better be getting some on a regular basis, right? Because people want to see a lot of newer reviews. And if you're doing things right and you're taking good care of people, and I don't know anybody on this call or virtually in the entire Age 7 organization that doesn't do that. And so kind of a blanket statement, but what they're not doing is they're not taking the time and the energy to make this stuff work for it. They're not leveraging it, right? And this talks about the sentiment. Oh boy, I might have to look up another page here and show you guys what the sentiment analysis does. Is pulls out the most used words in your reviews, right? You guys remember like the old tag cloud, right? Where the bigger words had the most, right? So if they're saying, great job, awesome teeth whitening, fastest service, right? So you can actually see the words that they are using. Now, it's a little pro tip. Excuse me, I got a little cough this morning. A little pro tip is if you start asking for reviews, which everybody should, you don't really want to lead them per se, but you can ask them to talk about, what ways did they help you? You could ask them to, like, what was the problem that you had and how were you better off, after you left us? And those kind of things help elicit better words from the people about their personal experience. And that's important because, in the eyes of all the other people reading the reviews, they're looking for things that are going to resonate with them, right? I mean, you guys read reviews, right? Amazon and
Absolutely. So I always post my my Facebook reviews on my website. I'm going to start posting my Google business as well because I have 15 5-star reviews and no one's looking at them. So I definitely need to get that out there. Reviews are huge. I mean, Amazon's huge too. Every time I buy a product, I'm going to look at the most reviews because that's coming hopefully from real people most of the time.
I love that, man. And thanks for playing along, because that is really right in the wheelhouse. Like, we know that, we have them out on Google, and that really talks about the marketing side. Like they're not really mothballed over there, but if you're not showcasing them right on your website, when people are finding you, you can actually turn them into graphics or take screenshots and post them in your social media feed too. And this is some of the content ideas and the engaging content ideas. Some of the lift that Mr. Mark has seen over there with Rethink Revenue, and he's been putting some of this stuff to work. And then what's neat about that is that the sentiment, then people can see the potential, right? Like, and hopefully you get enough reviews. And this is very generic, some people are going to talk about price. Some people are going to talk about speed. Some people are going to talk about quality, right? Just because people want different things. And if you got enough, when they read those reviews, they are going to see something in there, right? To resonate with them. Now, here's another pro tip. And it actually has a lot to do with the negative reviews too here, is you've got to respond to every single review. I would guess that Mr. Mark, you probably have replied to those reviews on.
Yeah, if you're on the review page in your Google My Business, you can see and click how many you haven't responded to. I love that because I always check that to make sure that I haven't missed anything. Even if they just do a 5-star on you but don't leave a review, I still reply.
Yes.
Because if you don't, it's all SEO too, because whatever you've said, whatever they said, it can be found on Google on that review. So you're missing out if you're not replying.
I love it. Exactly. So you can not get into a fight. You can respond to the negative reviews. You can talk about it's not up to your standard. It's not how we like to do business, and all the, 15 years we've been helping, all people. And if they don't talk about what they did, you can even mention, oh, we were so glad to help you, XYZ company with your podcast on charitable donations or something like that, right? So don't go crazy, but you can interject, some of those keywords and some of those sentiments, right?
I'll throw another pro tip in here, not to take over there, Greg, but also ask for the review if you have someone come in, because they won't think about it when they leave. So ask for a review. Say, hey, if you enjoyed your time, if you enjoyed the product, whatever I'm doing, could you please leave a review either on Google or Facebook or whatever, and send them a link so they know exactly where to do it.
Oh man, yes, indeed. There's a whole section on asking, making it easy. Last week we covered getting the Google review link, from that back end, getting the Facebook link, putting those together, maybe in a document, maybe making QR codes, maybe putting, something on the wall that they can look at and scan. We got a landscaping materials company, and right on the desk on the counter, there's a little table tent with a QR code. So maybe they're waiting for the rock they can just scan it and go do it right then. Oh boy, look at that. If he's going to bring us back in time, let's get going here. But this is good. This is the kind of discussion I love, and the feedback, and you're spot on all of that. This next part of this comprehensive report talks about how well video is seen out there. Again, another 90 percentile type of thing. If you're not doing video, you're not doing yourself any favors. You're not getting ranked, right? You're not getting people to stay on your site. You're not, all of these kind of things, right? So this tells you what it's finding or not finding, right? So do they see something out on YouTube, which is a foundational piece, right? Should have one on your site. And if you're doing it right and you're posting them on YouTube, they should be getting indexed. I'm not even sure who this company is that much. I just found a kind of a junky one in there. But usually if you got this one, you get this one, right? So if you're doing YouTube, YouTube's owned by Google, right? And so that stuff is usually then getting picked up, and your videos are going to show. And we even get into a little look into social. The online world is a big place, and now you basically have a digital storefront on all of these platforms. And these guys, I don't know, I think they have just some really generic picture, which is not great. Our example here is consistent, matching imagery with the logo. We can do offers, we can do reputation. The point is, if you want to look pro, all your stuff should look the same, because guess what? These guys are looking at you at a lens, right? So this one will pull those up. And retargeting. Do you guys know what retargeting is? Mr. Mark?
So I guess not. Maybe I'm thinking about it differently. So go ahead and kind of give me the overview, and I think so.
Sure. And so everybody's seen it. You mentioned Amazon. They are the kings at it. Go to a site, you look something up, right? And then you can go away, as most people do. 96% of visitors leave without buying, without opting in. But then we can show them ads when they go other places online, right? So you looked at those headphones on Amazon, that printer at Staples. Now that headphones and that printer ads is in front of you everywhere, right? So that's the retargeting part. Tell me you've seen that, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Gotcha.
90% of people who post on Amazon also somewhere sneakily put their link on that product, so that way you can get on their store.
Right. Yes, we want to, right? So we stay in front of those people long after they left our site, even though we don't know who they are. And we can show them offers and reputation. Some other fundamental things here. Google Analytics. I assume you guys got these on yours, or you have a team if you're a big outfit like Mr. David over there. We come across people that don't. And this is it. So he ran a little long. This business has really got a lot of Twitter people. That must have been their covers here are, yeah, YouTube and Twitter. We saw those. Now, not that everybody has to be everywhere. You should be where you think your people are. You should own, your name at all of the social outlets. Even if you don't post there all the time, put something up, at least a little brochure, little contact information. Here comes our breakout. Well, I want to thank you. And so does that seem like a lot of information for doggone free report, guys?
Yeah, that's pretty good. I looked up mine.